Welcome back to Women's Wealth, The Middle Way, the show that answers your questions about work, money, and family. My name is Susan McGlory Michael, and I am the CEO and founder of Glen Eagle, a wealth management firm in New Jersey.
I'm really excited to be joined today by Rachel Baumel and Kate Devlin from Sleep Again Pillows. They are a WBENC-certified business that invented and sells a post-surgical pillow system. And the patented 5-piece pillow system has helped thousands of people, men and women, sleep and heal following surgery. Welcome, Rachel and Kate.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I thought maybe it'd just be easiest if each of you kind of told us a little bit about your background and what inspired the Sleep Again pillow system.
This is Rachel, and I'll give you a little background on myself. I started out actually as an attorney and worked as an employment law attorney in Minneapolis, ended up moving to Denver, Colorado in 2003, and did not have my law license here. I hadn't taken the bar yet. So I ended up working in a nonprofit and then decided to start my own business. And I started a Mommy and Me program called Baby Power and Forever Kids, and ended up turning that into a preschool and grew the preschool into the same preschool at 2 different locations. And then ended up taking the bar exam here in Colorado in 2010, and also mediating family law disputes while I ran the preschools. So I did all of that. In 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and realized that maybe I was doing too much, too many businesses, and also, raising my kids. So at that point in time, I created a pillow system to help me sleep after my double mastectomy, and ended up loving it and started lending it out to other people, and they loved it as well. So at that point in time, I was still mediating family law. And in 2020, Kate and I decided to start Sleep Again Pillows and provide more people with the pillow system to help them sleep and heal after surgery. In 2022, I stopped mediating, and we've been doing this business together and full time ever since.
That's great. Kate, do you want to give a little bit of your background and maybe how you guys really met?
I have a very different background. My background is actually management consulting. I worked within sort of the retail practice and moved into manufacturing. I worked for the Boppy company, the Boppy feeding and infant support pillows. So I have a little bit of pillows in my background. But essentially, Rachel and I were friends and neighbors. And that is really the punchline of how this came about. Is we were sitting 6 feet apart during 2020 outside, and she shared with me her creation of the Sleep Again pillow system and how not only had it helped her, but when she started lending it out to the women in her support group, it was making a tremendous difference for them. And she's definitely the serial entrepreneur in the partnership, as you can tell. And so she had a vision, and I was just really excited to be part of it. We live near each other. Our kids are the same ages, and they're friends. And it's just been a really cool business to start together. And the best part is all the people we've been able to really help.
That's awesome. And I think you guys are both a good example of you never really know where life's going to bring you. I'm sure if 20 years ago someone had said you guys would be running the Sleep Again pillow system, you would not have believed them at that point. Rachel, can you just talk a little bit more about some of the challenges that you faced when building the business and how you guys have overcome them or are trying to overcome them? Clearly, you've been very successful.
The interesting thing about this business versus the other ones is that the other businesses were service industry. And this one is dealing with inventory, production, freight forward shipping. And that has been really interesting to learn and to figure out and to try and become more efficient. And so the challenges would be COVID. That was a crazy time, and a lot of our costs were just insane at that point. And then also just learning the business and learning how to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah, I think COVID was challenging for a lot of people, but I can imagine, especially with a new business and trying to get materials and things like that. Kate, can you talk a little bit about how you guys have tailored the Sleep Again experience I mean, clearly you're hitting a unique market of women who are post-surgery, and how do you kind of address their needs through your experience?
We obviously started primarily with women post-surgery, specifically because of Rachel's connection to breast cancer, post-mastectomy. But what we've been able to do is recognize all of the different people that this pillow system actually can help. If you have had a procedure and you are told to sleep on your back in an elevated position and stay still during the night, which is many people post-surgery, this is the perfect setup for you. Our personal connection, honestly, that's how we tailor this to everyone who needs it. If you dial our number, one of us picks up the phone. If you email us, one of us emails you back. It's us that you talk to. It's us that answers the questions. It's us that really make sure that this is the right system and solution for you. And that's how we make sure everyone has that very personal and unique experience when they have a lot of questions going into a surgery, and maybe they're feeling uncertain and a little bit scared, and to talk through this with someone who understands their concerns about being able to get sleep and be set up properly and feel just kind of comforted, right? And told that there's somebody here that they can call and talk to if they need to.
Yeah, and I don't think it gets any more personal than actually dealing directly with Rachel and you.
People are actually shocked when they call and they are like, oh, hi, you know?
Yeah, they're not expecting it. Obviously, it's really unique, both working together, especially being so close and just neighbors and things like that. And Kate had mentioned a little bit how, Rachel, you were the serial entrepreneur, but how do your talents and strengths work together well? And how have you been able to figure out what roles each of you take?
I love that question, because I definitely think that what I appreciate so much about Kate is she's extremely smart. She's just so sharp and she's on top of everything. And I trust her implicitly. And then what works for us is we are absolutely the yin and the yang. And I'm the gas and she's the brakes. I believe that makes a huge difference in our partnership, in that we respect each other so much, but then we are also able to push and pull and say yes and no and get to the right answer together, versus lots of business partnerships don't, and especially when you're friends, it doesn't always work. But ours actually works exceptionally well, which we're grateful for.
I think it is very rare. I actually read recently that friends partnership is one of the hardest partnerships to be successful in, which was surprising to read. But I'm glad that is not the case here, and it seems like you guys are doing an amazing job. Kate, could you just share a little bit about, you guys are WBENC, women-owned business, similar to us, how that has influenced your company's journey a little bit? And I guess if that has any aspect in how you think of future growth.
It's been really inspiring to us. It's really important to see examples of women-owned businesses that have pushed the envelope, that have persevered, that have been successful. It's great to hear their stories. I think what's nice about WBENC businesses, certified businesses, is people are pretty straightforward and honest about their journey and the whole story of how they've gotten to where they've gotten. And that's important. It's both comforting and inspiring. It's kind of nice to know that other people have hit stumbling blocks too, and they've gotten through it, and you can too. So that's been an important piece of the puzzle for us.
And I think that's so true, is, it is inspiring just to see other women that are trying to make a difference and being successful, which is always awesome. I think we'll finish up maybe with just some advice. We love to ask the people we're interviewing for our listeners if they can just share some advice with our listeners. So maybe we'll start with you, Rachel. Maybe one piece of advice that you would give, particularly those that are maybe in the healthcare industry and either starting a business or just trying to find ways to help their community.
I would say a couple things. One is try and find a need, and the wants don't always pan out, but the needs absolutely do. So find the need, don't give up, always try different angles. I've seen a lot of people fail a business, and I think it's because they just go down with the ship. They're just really stubborn and they decide this is how it has to be. learned in my other businesses, and Kate and I have learned in this one, you just don't stop trying to figure it out. There's usually an answer. You just have to keep on keeping on. You have to persist and really just go until you figure it out.
That's great advice. And as entrepreneurials, it's hard when you come up with an idea to not think that everyone is going to agree with what you're trying to do. So I think it is very important to always be looking at the actual industry and what the ask is that you're trying to fix, rather than just sticking to what you originally thought you wanted to do. And Kate, do you have any advice for people who are entrepreneurs like yourself that you wanted to pass along?
I think my biggest piece of advice would be to give yourself a little more weight. We've experienced the urge to go out and, quote, ask all the experts, maybe think we don't really know everything. So, like, it's great to get advice from those who have a lot of expertise. That is awesome. However, you get to a point where you kind of look at each other and go, you know who knows our business best? We do. We know our business best. The lessons I have learned would be to trust yourself. Your business, your idea is your baby, right? You know it better than anyone. And so while it's great to leverage advice and thoughts from experts in different fields, make sure you always come back to sort of what you know and trust your gut about your own business, because it will be the best advice for yourself.
I think that's great advice. And thank you, Rachel and Kate. I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know how busy you guys are to talk with us. And I think you're very inspirational and unique in the sense that you run a business as friends. I was very inspired, and I hope our listeners will be too. But thank you.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode of Women's Wealth, The Middle Way. Make sure to subscribe to us and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcast app. Join us for new episodes every other Wednesday. See you in 2 weeks.